it cannot rejuvenate. Now just a little word on chemicals. Chemicals, of course, in your food are bad. That's why you don't eat processed food. But make sure that you don't have a lot of other chemicals in your environment. They're under your kitchen sink, they're in your bathroom, they're in insect sprays, they're in the pesticides you use. They're also in toothpaste. Don't get toothpaste with fluoride in it. And of course, there's chlorine in your water. That's why you want to drink bottled water. Also, you never want to microwave your food. It changes the character of the food. And of course, be careful when you have dental work done, because if you have amalgams put in your mouth, they have mercury in them. Mercury in your hand is toxic, but we're told by the dentist that when you put it in your mouth, it's not toxic anymore. So I would suggest to you that you really want to get the chemicals out of your house. Take those chemicals out from under the sink and put them in the garage so you're not inhaling those fumes all the time. Now, I want to say one last word about juicing. Again, you need to have your juice as fresh as possible. You will find that carrot juice contains a lot of beta-carotene in it, and beta-carotene is an antioxidant. It will go around through your body and clean a lot of the toxins out of your body. That's also helpful with the barley green or the green leafy vegetable juice. So there you have your whole plan. Fruits, vegetables, grains, a few nuts. Almonds are the best. And then you can also have a few seeds, but be careful with the protein. If you eat like that, your body will start turning itself around. It will start cleansing itself. I want to tell you that it worked for me with my cancer. And I want to tell you about somebody else that it worked for who had high blood pressure and an autoimmune disease. Let's go and talk to her. Here's someone who's been on the diet. This is my mom, right? Yes. I didn't lie.
Right.
Now, how old are you?
85.
Okay. She changed her whole diet when she was 85 years old. If she can do it, you can do it too. Now, you developed a severe disease, didn't you? What's it called?
Polymyalgia rheumatica.
Polymyalgia rheumatica means poly, many, myo means muscle, and algia means pain, and rheumatica just means pain in the joints. So we've got many muscles and joints are painful. That's what polymyalgia rheumatica is. But it's classed in the autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. You've had it before, haven't you?
Yes, this is the third time.
And when you had it before, what did the doctors give you?
Prednisone.
Prednisone, that's a derivative of cortisone, which doesn't cure the disease. It really only covers up the symptoms. Now, how long did you have to take the prednisone?
I was on it for 5 years, but the first 2 weeks I had 60 milligrams a day.
That's a very high dose. Now, what happened to your face?
Oh, it blew up like this. They call it moon face.
That's right. She had such a huge face I could hardly recognize my own mother. How long did it take you until you started feeling a lot better when you were on the prednisone? Now, at first, when you went on the prednisone, you had a tremendous amount of energy, so much that you had trouble sleeping, didn't you?
Right, and I'd get up and clean my whole house, ceiling to floor.
That's right. That was wonderful energy, but it was false energy, wasn't it? You were wearing yourself out.
I was, but I couldn't stop because I couldn't rest.
So you had it once again a number of years later, and you were on prednisone for how long?
A year and a half.
And you were also on Motrin at the same time for a long period of time. Now, when you developed this disease again about 10 months ago or so, I knew that if the doctors put her on prednisone again, she would have a stroke at her age. Besides, by that time I had learned how to live better myself. So I sort of kidnapped you, didn't I?
Yes.
And I brought you out to my house, and I put this food in front of you. And you were delighted, weren't you?
No. I said, I don't see how you can eat it even.
So you weren't real thrilled about eating this way.
I'd sit and look at it for a long time.
Well, now, did you love carrot juice, though, at the beginning?
No, I never liked carrot juice.
But you drink it now, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And were you a big sugar eater?
Oh, yes. Everything with sugar I loved.
That's right. Well, she was on the diet at the beginning for only 3 weeks, and we had a wonderful unexpected side effect. We got her off of all her blood pressure medications. Now, you had been on some sort of blood pressure medication for how long?
For about at least 35 years.
All right, 35 years. And then, of course, you would be on one blood pressure medication, and then they would add another one, and eventually
And
you were
increase
on,
the dosage.
That's
too.
right. And her blood pressure was as high, even on the medication, some 100 over 100 or higher than that, even on the medication. So within 3 weeks on this diet, with proper rest and freedom from stress, all of these things changed, didn't they? So we were able to get her off of all the blood pressure medications, and you remain off of the blood pressure medications,
I
right?
haven't been on any of it since that time.
Not only that, we were able to get her off of Zantac, which was for her hiatal hernia or mid-epigastric pain. Within 4 months of the time you went on the diet, something else happened. We got some blood tests, and what did we find?
Are you speaking of the triglycerides?
That's right.
And the cholesterol?
Right.
Oh, yes. My triglycerides were up as high as 570, and in a short time, they were down to 140.
Well, the triglycerides are a measure of the fat in the blood. They were up at 570, and they dropped to 140. Normal is 200 or below, and that was in 4 months. Within the same period of time, your cholesterol, normal again, is 200 or below. Your cholesterol had been about, what,
250.
250. And where did it drop to in 4 months?
120.
Isn't that something? Now, this is in an 85-year-old woman. She changed the way she lived. So if she can do it, you have no excuse. Now, let me ask you, I'm going to ask her one other question. You've seen me talking about this diet, and you know that I've had cancer, and my mother wouldn't lie. She gave birth to me. How old am I?
60 years old last February.
That's right, just turned 60. So you see, you can go through a lot of stress, a lot of life-threatening disease, and still be healthy. Thanks, Mom.
Okay, I'm glad to do it.
Now I'm going to show you about the juicing. Here is the Cadillac of juicers. This is a Norwalk juicer. I'll tell you at the end of the video how you can purchase one of these if you're interested. They are very expensive, but if you have a life-threatening disease and you do have the money, they're well worth it because you get more nutrition by juicing with a Norwalk juicer than any other juicer. I wash my carrots and then I package them in a plastic bag. To make 1 glass of carrot juice, it takes about 3 large carrots like this. I usually add in an apple. Now you can mix fruits and vegetables if they're in juice because then your body doesn't really have to digest them. They all go through at once. This makes the carrot juice much sweeter. You can also mix an apple into your green leafy vegetable juice. If you want to make more than 1 juice at a time, you can do so if you put them in these little canning jars like this and put them immediately in the refrigerator. Then you can keep the juice for maybe 2 or at the most 3 days. Of course, it's better if you drink it within 5 minutes of the time that you eat it because the time that you mix it, but you will lose some nutrition if you put it in the jars like this. But if you don't have the time to make each glass of juice by itself, then you can put them in these little canning jars, which you can get at your grocery store. This is an Omega juicer. This is much less expensive than a Norwalk, and in my opinion, it is the best one in a lower price range. This is significantly less than the Norwalk juicer, and if you do not have the funds to purchase a juicer like the Norwalk, then I would suggest the Omega. If you don't have the funds to purchase any juicer, you can buy freshly made juice